Okay, after the climb from the funicular, which is there, we've gone out there. So what is wonderful with this view is that you will see almost all of Paris. Medyo hazy lang because we are filming against the light. There you are. This is on top of the hill. There you are. A brief history is, I'll read the brief history. So, perched on the top of Montmartre Hill, Montmartre kasi ang tawag. That's what it is, it's called. No? The Sacred Hearts, or Sacré Coeur in French, is an emblematic monument of Paris. While its white stones and Neo-Byzantine architecture, it contributes the charm of Montmartre. Nandito tayo kasi we're here at the place called Montmartre. Later on, I'll show you what is its significance then. But what is the history of the Sacré Coeur Basilica? Did you know that it was built in reaction to more than a century of war and violence in France? So let's take a look at the little-known history of its monument. So in the year 1870, in a few weeks, the history of France will take a new turn. On July 19 of 1870, France declared war on Prussia, or I think it's Germany at that time. But on September 2, Napoleon III was forced to lay down his arms at the end of the Battle of Sedan. And on September 4, the Third Republic was proclaimed. This was the end of the Second Empire. However, the war with Prussia was not yet over, and Paris was besieged for more than 4 months. The cold and hunger makes this siege particularly difficult for Parisians forced to feed on horses, cats, dogs, rats, and even animals from the plant garden, camel, elephant, antelope, that they are forced to sacrifice. Kakainin nila yung mga kabayo, mga aso at pusa, kahit na daga. In December 1870, Victor Hugo testifies, it is not even the horse that we eat anymore. Maybe it's dog food, maybe it's rat. I'm starting to have stomach aches. We eat the unknown. On January 18, 1871, the German Empire was proclaimed in the Hall of Mirrors of the Palace of Versailles. There's another place to go to, Versailles. And on January 26, a ceasefire was signed. However, some Parisians refused to give back. On March 18, Adolphe Thiers sent the army to seize the 227 cannons installed on the Montmartre Hill. So, ang dami palang kanyon dito noon. The operation was ill-prepared and failed. The officers were disarmed by the crowd. It was then the beginning of the Paris Commune, an insurrection lasting more than 2 months that set the capital on fire and bloodshed. This complicated period, which began in 1879 with the revolution, was seen by some Catholics as a divine punishment, so much so that two Parisians in exile, Hubert Roux de Fleury and Alexandre Lugenty, promised to build a new Church of God Saved France. Once the situation had calmed down, it was decided to erect the said church on the Montmartre Mound, a symbolic place at the beginning of the Paris Commune, and where Saint Denis was beheaded. This is the first saint of France, Saint Denis. The project was debated. Some people saw it as the symbol of the church during the Revolution. Yet in 1873, a law recognized the church as being a public utility, and a vast national subscription was launched to finance its construction. The French were called upon to participate to the extent of their means, a program which met with great success thanks to the stone subscription, in inverted commas, which encouraged the population to raise funds for the purchase of a stone, a column, or even a chapel in which the initials or the names of the donors were engraved. The work was completed, but the consecration planned for October 1914 was postponed because of the war and would not take place until 1919, meaning First World War. Although sometimes criticized by some who see its architecture as a cake topped with chantilly in inverted commas, the Sacré Coeur is now well established in the Parisian landscape and is the delight of Montmartre residents and tourists alike. So after Notre Dame de Paris, another church which was unfortunately was burnt, I think in 2018 or 2019, Sacré Coeur is the second most visited Parisian monument. Do you believe that second lang? I mean, after the Eiffel Tower, famous din ang Eiffel Tower. Anyway, we're going up now. After the brief history of Sacré Coeur, we'll try to go in there. Ngayon naman, all the lovers are putting the itong mga padlocks. It started in Pont Neuf in Paris. Now it's just here in Sacré Coeur. We'll try to get in there, but we'll keep it silent because again this is also a sacred place. Okay. That's how it looks like. Okay. This is at the side. The other side building, I think, is the Benedictine Sisters, the Abbey of the Benedictine nuns. There you are. It says Basilica de Sacré Coeur de Montmartre, Basilica of Sacred Heart of Montmartre. By the way, if you want a perpetual adoration, there is always 24-hour perpetual adoration. Wait, you need to pass through security.